I did like that Daniel Hess wrote a little bit more about God's will and God's plan for our life. He said, and I did invite him to watch this show. He'd probably check it out later. I got to message him behind the scenes. He's a cool brother. He said, do we want a life coach or do we want Jesus to be our Lord? Do we want him to be our life coach or our Lord? He said, we often want God to be our life coach rather than our Lord. We want a pastor to give us 3 to 5 helpful tips on how to live an easier life, all the while forgetting that our missions is to exalt God. Instead of letting his glory shape our desires and ambitions, we too often expect him to reveal his minute-by-minute instructions for our lives. We expect him to spell everything out. We crave the personal comfort of knowing our destined 5-year plan over faithfully trusting him over those next 5 years. Slowly, we forget that faith might look messy and that we might not have our entire plan unveiled to us immediately. Sometimes we must step forward with both confidence and uncertainty. We forget that while God has conquered death through his son on the cross, we still live in a fallen world and are amid a spiritual world between good and evil. We forget that he's sovereign over us. So do we want Jesus to be our life coach or our Lord? That whole article was banging, man. Like, and I looked at his profile. He's only 24 years old. Nice. Coming with this type of wisdom. No, so good. I look at it like these things have not been revealed to you by man, by flesh and blood. Daniel Hess, they've been revealed to you by the Spirit of God. No, this is good stuff, man. Yeah. Like, and it's a good question. Like, do we want Jesus to be our life coach or our Lord?
Yeah, because a life coach, they
spell everything out. This is what you want to do. Da, 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 da. I think, honestly, if Jesus really was our life coach, we would disobey most of his instructions anyway.
We do now.
We do with the Bible itself, but I'm just saying, like, if he gave specific instructions on how to live each moment of our life, it would just be more opportunity to
don't
sin.
Buy those Nikes, you know what I'm saying? They're $90. Get the $50 pair.
Straight rebellion.
We
would
get
be
the
beefing.
120 pair.
Yeah, we be beefing with God if he told us to grab the Walmart shoes instead of the Finish Line or like the Foot Locker joints, you know what I mean? Or
we complain like we can afford the nice joints.
We be definitely beefing even more often with God.
For sure, man.